The University of Phoenix is a school that I've gotten a lot of questions on. It's touted as an affordable, flexible higher education option for working adults. And when it comes to their MBA program, you might be wondering, is this school and is the MBA program at this school worth it? As someone who has gone through a traditional undergraduate business program in person on campus, and also having done an online MBA, although through another school, but online nonetheless. In this video, I'm going to do an overview of the university and the MBA program itself and share a little bit of my perspective to help answer that question. But before I do that, folks, if you're new to the channel, my name is Richard Walls and I'm here to help you with career development and personal finance. So if either of those two topics are of interest to you, do make sure to subscribe down below and hit the notification bell so you get notified of when I post new content. So with that said, let's get started. The University of Phoenix is a for-profit organization that was founded in 1976 as an education option designed for adult learners, specifically those that are working full-time. Perhaps they have families or other life obligations, so time is limited and maybe financial resources are also limited. So really, flexibility here is key. As of today, they are mostly, if not completely, an online university. It's honestly a little bit confusing as to whether there is actually an option to attend in person or have anything on campus. There seem to have been multiple campuses across the US, but a lot of them at this point have been shut down. It's not all too surprising if perhaps those locations didn't get a lot of attendance and a lot of the focus and a lot of the resources are being moved towards the online experience. And as of right now, they only make mention of possibly bringing back some kind of on-campus, in-person experience at their main campus in Phoenix, Arizona. But there's really no clear timetable on that. I wouldn't be surprised if they simply didn't bring it back at all. Again, a lot of the demand in the market is moving towards online education, especially for institutions that are focused on working professionals and catering to that market. So putting aside the potential that there might be some kind of on-campus experience, we're going to focus totally on the online experience and the online MBA program. For starters, their MBA program is ACBSP certified, which is, or I should say accredited. It's one of the two major accreditation bodies here in the US for MBA programs. The other being AACSB, which is the older accrediting agency. It's been around for a little bit longer, a little bit more selective. University of Phoenix does not have that one, but in my book, in no way, shape, or form does that really matter. It's got at least one of them. That's perfectly acceptable in my book. The university offers two MBA program options. One is a standard MBA program where if you have very little working experience, this might be a good option for you. It's something where you complete it in between 2 to 3 years on average. The other MBA option is a competency-based option, which I'll get into a little bit more detail later, but this is a little bit more serving those that have been in the working world for quite a bit longer, have already had working experience, and this one is a slightly more accelerated track where you can complete some of these courses at your own pace more so than the traditional format. You can complete modules quicker, finish them sooner. So this MBA could actually take you quite a bit less time. When you look at the coursework, they look to be about the same for both options. The only difference really being the length of time, or at least the approximate length of time in the program, and the cost per credit, both of which favor the competency-based MBA program option. And this option, as I mentioned, happens to be a little bit more accelerated. But there happen to be some requirements to be admitted into this specific program. One is there's a requirement for an undergraduate business degree. Second is you need an undergraduate GPA of 2.5 or higher. And last is you need 3 years of experience within the last 10 years in a business environment. So there is a bit of a barrier to entry. Again, the reason it's accelerated is because it's presuming that you have some of these competencies already and that some of these courses should be a little bit easier for you to manage. Now, what makes this a little bit different is that you can take a lot of these courses concurrently and finish them within a 4-month period. In this case, it's you have this 4-month window and you can finish it within a month if you'd like, or you can finish it within 3 months, and you can either take these classes all concurrently, or you can finish one class in 1 month, finish another one in the following month. again, it's really at your own pace. Now, all of this comes in at a price tag of around $10,000, which is extremely affordable compared to the many MBA options out there in the higher education world, but it's even comparable or quite competitive actually with their standard MBA, which I'm going to talk about right now. That standard MBA format comes in at a price tag of $23,000. Also still fairly affordable compared to a lot of options out there, but again, a little bit more expensive than the competency-based model. Of course, the benefit with the standard MBA format that they offer is that they don't have the same requirements as the competency-based model does, but you have a slightly different format, of course. And this one is geared more towards live virtual classes, similar to a lot of online MBAs. The one that I did, for example, there were live lectures every single week for every class, a lot of group work, but there's just a lot more engagement, and it's not so much, here's all this work, go do it on your own, come back when you're ready to take some exams. This is very much more involved, more engagement, as should be the case, especially if you, again, don't have a lot of work experience. This is good for you to get a better understanding and connect with your peers, connect with professors, better understand the material that's being presented to you. And in this case, you take one course at a time, you complete it, move on to the next. Typical time for completion of this program is anywhere from 1.5 to 3 years. Now, between the standard MBA and the competency-based MBA, obviously I would imagine you'd go with the one that you would be most qualified for or could get accepted to based on the requirements of the competency-based MBA. Now, the real question is it worth it? For how much the program costs, which as I mentioned, it's quite affordable, I would say that there are more recognized MBA programs out there from far more established universities. And many of those options are online as well, and they come in at a price tag that's approximately around the ballpark of the $23,000 figure for the standard MBA that University of Phoenix offers. University of Illinois and Boston University are two really good examples. Both of these are some of the top universities in the world, the former of which is the one that I ended up attending, and the price tag was around, I think, $22,000. I've got plenty of content on my channel about my experience there, so make sure to check that out after you watch this video. And this is not to say that there's anything wrong in particular about this program, but just that if you have the time and money to invest into your education, I would say that there are better options out there to consider first, and have University of Phoenix also be on that list. But again, if you can get accepted to some of the ones that I just mentioned, that might be a better option for you. But again, of course, it depends on your goals. There may be some arrangement with your employer or through scholarships or through other avenues by which you can get a free education perhaps from University of Phoenix. Maybe it's something that gets paid for. And I think you'd be well served by having an MBA from this university. There's a handful of people I know that I've worked with and have worked with in the past that are in pretty well positioned in the company that got their degrees from University of Phoenix. So I would say it's something that, in my view, at minimum, checks a box. There's a desire in the corporate world for MBAs, primarily because it's a well-rounded business education that someone gets, especially if they don't have a foundation there. This is something that really helps round them out. But I think career success is a little bit more determined by your experience, your work experience, and your ability to network. I don't see University of Phoenix, an MBA from this university, opening up a ton of doors for you like, say, a top 25 MBA would. But again, depending on where you are at in your career and what your goals are, those may not be needed. You may not need to spend $100,000 or $200,000 on an MBA. Maybe something from University of Phoenix will work perfectly fine. Now, the one flaw I do see with the University of Phoenix MBA program is that there aren't any specializations. Now, this is something you might find in other MBA programs where you have the core curriculum, but then you have a small subset of other classes dedicated to some specific topic. Could be digital marketing or business analytics. But specializations are a way to help you differentiate your MBA from all the other MBAs that are going to be out there. And again, MBAs are one of the most popular degrees at this point. They're only becoming more popular. Unfortunately, there's no option here at this university with this program to pursue anything like that. So your MBA is not going to, unfortunately, stand out like it would if there was some kind of a specialization you could mark it on your resume. Now, outside of that, the school has been around for around 50 years at at this point, so there's a good track record of continuity. They didn't just spring up last year, and there's history here at this point. And it has an alumni base of over 1 million people, which of course is representative of all the degree holders from the school. It's not just business degrees, not just MBAs, but the entire school. In fact, if you go on LinkedIn and look up University of Phoenix, you'll actually find a list of people that have received a degree from there, what positions they are in whatever companies that they're at. And from this, you'll see that there's actually pretty good representation across the board, across multiple industries, represented in Fortune 500 companies. So I do think it has served a good number of people very well, and it fits a certain need that certain working professionals have. Do I think an MBA here is going to open a lot of doors to super high income, high salary positions right off the bat? No, I don't think it's going to do that like a top 10 MBA program would. But will it give you an advantage in the job market at an affordable price? Can it complement your work experience and make you a more well-rounded candidate for certain opportunities, especially at the company that you're already at and perhaps you're looking to get promoted? I'd say the answer is unequivocally yes. Now, obviously it depends on your career goals, and there may yet be some more affordable options out there. But like any other form of higher education, it really serves as a signal to prospective employers that you have an interest in self-development. You're making a personal investment of your time, your money in growing yourself professionally. So when you combine earning a degree with good working experience and good networking skills, and I'll really emphasize the networking piece. Networking is absolutely key, folks, so make sure to keep that in mind. Then this MBA degree might just make sense for you. So let me know down in the comments below what you think of this program. Perhaps if you've gone through the program yourself, let me know what your experience was. I'm sure that would be helpful for my audience to see. And for more videos about online MBAs, make sure to check out these 2 videos here, where I talk about some awesome, affordable options, and also my own experience with an online MBA program. So with that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you around.